go to vote, SEIUMN.org.
C'est encore Yves Kenao, c'est toujours Yves Kenao qui revient. Cette fois-ci, pour vous dire que Tempo Afrique TV vous offre plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision. Les chaînes européennes, les chaînes américaines, les chaînes asiatiques, les chaînes africaines. À un prix imbattable. À un prix imbattable. Tenez-vous bien. $185 pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Alors, où est-ce que vous pouvez trouver mieux que ça si ce n'est pas sur Tempo Afrique TV? Mesdames, Messieurs, appelez seulement le 612 804 0295 et vous serez servi. Vous serez agréablement surpris de voir plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision rouler sur votre écran comme ça et vous choisissez laquelle vous voulez. Alors mesdames, n'hésitez pas. N'hésitez surtout pas et ne faites pas compter. Prenez votre téléphone, prenez-le tout de suite et appelez le 612, le 804, le 02 95. Nous sommes là, ici à Tempo TV, pour rendre votre vie simple et agréable. Alors, saisissez l'occasion donc. $185 pour toute une année, pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Quoi de mieux que ça?
My name is IBé. I am a social worker. So please join us on November 3rd to vote for the candidate who is supported by the Service Employee International Union. To find out information about where to vote from home, please go to vote, SEIUMN.org.
And I am the host at Beyond the Headlines. Today we will be interviewing IBé. IBé is the founder, right?
Yes.
He is the founder of FindBlack.us. And I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about FindBlack.us.
Okay. Thank you very much, Comer.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here and having a conversation with you about something that's very dear to my heart, something I've spent the last 6 months putting a lot of my time in, and that's FindBlack.us. Is really actually much longer than that I've been thinking about it, planning the idea in my head, but really having my as they say, fingers to the keyboard. It's really been a lot of my time in the last 6 months.
Is it thanks to Corona? Like you just had the time or what?
Partly I can say that because then Corona, our social life was down to zero. So I used the time I would have spent going out and all of that, spent that, building the site. But the site FindBlack.us is basically, it's a directory of Black-owned businesses in all of the US. And with main emphasis, at least in this beginning stage, we launched just the beginning of September. And so this beginning stage is heavily Minnesota, and I think already I'll challenge people in making the statement that right now we have the largest list of Black-owned businesses gathered anywhere. Wow. But beyond that, we obviously have a lot of other Black-owned businesses all over the country.
Okay. Yeah. So FindBlack.us is a directory of Black-owned businesses, not just in Minnesota, but across the United States.
Across the United States.
But that's why the US. US.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why isn't it .com? That seems to be like easier to find.
Okay. Couple of things. First, it's the constraint. I didn't have a choice, so to speak, because without getting in the technicalities of getting a website, you need a name, and if somebody else beats you to the name, you don't get it. So FindBlack.com was not available. Okay. But I think it was a blessing, in fact, because I like the .us, because the site is specifically for black-owned businesses in the U.S.
Okay.
You know, so it's .com doesn't have any geographic boundaries to it, .com, you know, which is good in some cases. But this way, it's almost reminding people of what it is you can expect to find in there. Because as much as, you know, I believe we need to support black community all over the world, it's just, to me, at least, it doesn't make sense to have a black-owned business, worldwide black-owned businesses, because you wouldn't want to create a directory of black-owned businesses in, say, Nigeria. That would be all the business in Nigeria, right? You know, you just might as well call it Nigerian businesses, you know, and true. Stuff. So this is really about the U.S. and it's trying to answer. It's trying to help with a situation that's very unique to America, and maybe other places in the world outside of Africa and some other countries around the world that are majority black, but it's really trying to address a particular situation that's particular to communities, countries where black are such a small minority. Although, you know, it's not an insignificant minority in the U.S. case, but certainly in some countries. So by that is trying to highlight these black businesses that may otherwise go under the radar because they are just, it's, you know, small. Yeah, they are small in the sea of all the white businesses or other places they may be.
And I mean, Google, like somebody could argue, why should we go to findblack.us when we have Google? You know? And to your point, I mean, Google, it's probably not intentional for it to be all white, but it happens to be that way because of just the public we're in, and if you follow just the law of economics, you know, and you just pick the, you know, the probability that the first 10 people you Google is going to be white, and you know, so I get that. And so what triggered you to actually pursue this and you know, try to get it done by September, knowing that you're not getting paid? You're not getting paid to do this, are you?
No, I am not getting paid.
Did you get a grant or something?
No, I didn't get a grant. But if somebody's out there with, you know, that would like to support such an effort, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't turn it down because I have a lot of ideas, plans for the site that will take a whole lot of time and help that I will need. So not just putting in my time. So if somebody's out there generous and appreciative of this, you know, holla. Let's talk. You know? It's
a great effort, guys. And I think everybody can appreciate that that one location, one platform you can go to find all the black businesses that are in Minnesota. Because I know that I get calls, you know, I think I mentioned this to you earlier, I get calls almost weekly from friends, maybe people visiting, or they're new in town and they're like, Kwame, where can we find, you know, food from Nigeria, from Togo? Where can we find that shirt you're wearing? You know, the earrings you're wearing, like stuff like that.
Exactly.
And I have to like it's like a full-time job almost. I'm constantly sending messages like, this is the contact you need, that is the contact, and I'm happy to do that. But you know, if we have a particular place where everybody can go to, all I have to do is go to Find Black US.
It'll be there, and you can find it and stuff, and we can all kind of put it on mind, because somebody coming to it, they are limited to what you know, right? And you're as knowledgeable as you may be, I bet you don't know all even restaurants in the Twin Cities, right?
I'm probably biased.
Exactly. To certain ones that you go to that you are aware of, and I have my own too, but this is a site that you can put yours in there, I can put mine in there. When that third person come to look, they're not just getting Comer's favorite black restaurant, African restaurant, or eBay. They can choose from it, and hopefully they will, you know, discover and create their own best, you know, and things like that. And that's, in fact, another nice feature on the site. People can add comments and reviews. So you can go there and add your review if you've been to, let's say, Afro Deli or African Cafe and stuff like. You can go put the review in there, give it some stars. So next time that person out of town comes in looking for an African restaurant, and not only your star, you can tell them you can get some jollof rice over there, you can get some plantain. Because sometimes when people come, I'm not looking for, say, a Nigerian restaurant. I just want me some good jollof rice, you know. So somebody go tell me they got some jollof rice over at this Liberian restaurant, you know, I'll go there and get it, and things like that, you know.
So sounds like anybody can go in here if you're a small business owner, or if you have a favorite spot you like to go to that is black owned. you can go to the website, find black.us, and put in that information, and then give it a review.
Yes.
Even, right?
Yes.
So anybody can do this?
Anybody can do that, and I
Okay.
actually encourage everybody to do it. So the business doesn't have to be listed by the owner.
Okay.
If you are aware of a business, you can go in there, go through the process, fill out just few information about them, their name, address, what category they're in, and all of that. It's literally 5-10 minutes at the most. You can create this listing. And once it's approved, it's live. And we can enrich it going forward. I mean, with more information as we know about the business. And also, somewhere along the line, or if you know of the owner of the business, you can reach out to them, letting them know of the resource, and they can claim it. That means then they are able to update it directly whenever, say, their phone number change. They can go there and update it so others can find it. You know, I'm really hoping that people can go and add more to it. Because again, like I said, right, the more you add those things that your Rolodex, so to speak, and I add to it, this grows, then you can get rid of your Rolodex and move on to the modern by having your cell phone or something like that, you know. But I can do the same thing, and we can all do it, and this will be a resource that will be valuable to all of us, you know.
Yeah, I agree. So how do you stop fraud though? Like if anybody has access to it, you know, there's some very malicious people out there.
That's a good point, you know, Dan, because for political reasons, some people think such a resource is discriminatory, and we can talk about that. I don't think it is, but some people do that, and I can see them just want to sabotage it.
Exactly.
So I do have some security in place, if you, technically speaking, you know, hackers and things to protect that, but people could enter, you know, false information there, for example, or maybe somebody can go enter a white-owned business there and claim to be black-owned. So I have some processes in place to address those.
Okay.
One is that, yes, you can go in and create a listing, but it's not going to be live immediately. It'll first have to go through, you know, somebody on the team will have to approve it. And in that approval process, we'll have to check some places to make sure that the business is in fact legit. And there is some proof somewhere that it is, some idea that it is in fact black owned. Okay. So if it goes through that sort of sniff test, it's live, but things change. Okay. Let's say even in a legitimate case that a business was submitted, it is indeed black owned, but later on ownership changes. I'm really hoping the community will be able, there is a feature on it too where the people can go flag a business for a potential issue.
So the power is in our hands.
Exactly.
The power is in your hands.
It is in your hands. It's really, this is something we can make as helpful, so to speak, as possible by the community itself. And so I'm hoping that people will not only use it, but help keep it up to date. Yeah.
And you know, there's been some confusion about what black owned means. So can you explain to us exactly what you mean when you say black owned?
Thank you. Black owned, first, I think 51% or more ownership. So there are some businesses there that are not entirely black owned, but once there is, you know, some black ownership to it, we'll accept it to be black owned. Because this is really about empowering the community. It's about keeping the black economy within the community, you know. So, and I believe that even if there is one person benefiting from that business at an ownership level or at a very high exec, if not CEO level, I believe then we influence the direction of that business, how that business not only operate, but where its finances go. Because another thing that I feel very strongly about, sometimes our money is used against us because we don't pay good attention to where it goes. Then it ends up in the pocket of people that are working against us, and that's very unfair. So this, if you and I believe that when you have a black person in leadership, at least it's a little bit, you get reassurance that at least my money, if I put it in this business, it's not going to be used against me, you know.
So back to the community.
Exactly, you know. So black owned is, yes, at least 51% ownership, but also that's the thing, not all the businesses on the site are necessarily black owned. Because first, some organization like nonprofit, by virtue, nobody owns it. It's also can be black led
Okay.
You know, because I believe that, again, when we are in leadership position, we determine the direction of that organization or business.
Yeah.
So it can be also Black-led organizations that can be on the site as well.
I love it.
You know.
Okay, so 51% Black-owned or Black-led.
Led, yes.
Yes, and then nobody is there policing anybody, but we're open. If the public, anybody can go in there and double check.
And double check.
Flag if something is off.
Because actually what I have on the site too is not just leaving it in there. The owner, try to, as much as I'm able to find the information, and if you know the information, you can enter the owner of the organization. The name is right there, or the leader of the organization. So if you go there and maybe organization XYZ and the owner is listed as John Doe, you'll be like, no, I I have some information. John Doe is no longer the owner. Flag it. That will, you know, within me and my helpers will follow up on that and do our investigation, not just taking your word for it. As much as I trust you, you know, I mean, I trust the other, you know, check to make sure indeed that, what you flag, the flag you raising is legitimate and will take action accordingly.
And what about, like, entrepreneurs? So there are people that, you know, have a business. For example, they're a dancer. I'm not saying just because I'm a dancer, but you know, you don't have a physical location, but you have a service that you provide. Is that considered a company that you can?
Most definitely, the word business, it's wide.
Yeah.
What's considered a business?
Okay.
Because in fact, being in addition to being an IT professional, I'm also a writer and an artist and stuff. So I have a list in there.
Okay.
So one thing that I don't do as much now, but maybe under the right circumstances, I could still do listed as a teaching artist. So if you're looking for teaching artists, maybe you are a teacher and you are looking for teaching artists that can come into your classroom, maybe work with your kids to supplement your lessons, maybe in poetry or writing or maybe storytelling, you can find those artists on the site too. You know, and those, you know, in the traditional sense may not be considered business, but I'm considering business because it's bringing money certainly to that person. It's also bringing money to our community. Again, the purpose, objective of this site is to keep money in our community. Yes.
No, I agree with that because, well, for example, and I apologize, I haven't actually perused the site much, but I know a lot of individuals who are business owners themselves, and they might not think of themselves as that, and maybe they're not even registered, you know, as a business. So the idea of like, oh, you must be a business to be in here might be intimidating to them, but it's like you have something to offer, and so you put yourself out there.
I like that. That's a great way to think about it. If you have a product or service to offer that you would like people to find you, you are qualified to register yourself or whatever entity you've created under that umbrella.
So just put yourself
and
on
put it in there so people can find you, you know, and you may have some free time on your hand and you like dogs, so you like to walk other people's dogs. Go list yourself in there with that service, and somebody may want to look for somebody to, you know, a dog walker, which is actually a hat service now, people providing and stuff, you know, because everybody and their mama has a dog or two, you know.
America,
in America, you know, and they don't have a lot of time to, and dogs need maintenance. But that'll be something you can put in there. So it doesn't even have to be your full-time stuff. If it's your gig, you can go list your services there.
I like that. So it's probably categorized as to like what you're looking for.
Exactly, what you're going. So when you go on the site in this, continuing with the dog analogy in there, you can, so with somebody like that, there is a tag for dog walkers, for example, or dog grooming service. So you go in there, you're looking for that. You can just search by that category and search the location. Let's say you live in California, you're looking for somebody in California because somebody in Minnesota may not be very helpful to you. You can search by that location. You know, people like traveling with their chihuahuas or something. You might get there and need a chihuahua dog hotel.
That's not a bad side gig. Like, just fly me over there and I'll walk your dog.
Exactly.
Okay, so I do have a question for you though, IBé. Like, tell us just who is IBé and like what drives you to do this, you know?
IBé is an African. And I say that not just where I was born, not just my geographic or some kind of identity, it's my philosophy. in life. That's really all my energy. I try to come to bear on that identity in this world, you know. So everything I do is for the empowerment, upliftment of that community and making sure, trying to make that community proud and stuff. So that's in a nutshell I am, but other things, other skills and tools about me that I bring to bear on that is that I'm an IT professional, but I'm also an activist. I'm a writer, a poet, and of course I'm a parent to 3 beautiful kids and all of that
Shout
good
out
stuff,
to the
you know?
kids.
Yeah, shout
Yes.
out to the kids.
Okay. Okay, that's amazing. What are the plans? Okay, before I talk about the plans for the future, oh, look, it's me. Okay.
Oh.
So, before I talk about plans for the future, I want to talk about, like, so you said in the past 6 months, this is when you've put in a lot of sweat and blood to get this going, right? And
Still going.
And we know within the 6 months, it's been a hard time for Black people in the U.S. In the world. It's always a struggle with Black people. You know, we just keep fighting.
Yeah.
You know. And there was the killing of George Floyd recently. You know, there was the Breonna Taylor and the, you know, injustice that came out of it. Did that affect you in any way during this time? Like, did it push you forward? Did it, you know, slow you down? Like, I just want to know how.
That was the direct motivation behind it. This is an idea I've had for a long time, but the reason why now is because of what the world, the country, and specifically Minnesota, being that I'm here, been dealing with in the last few months as a result of that very brutal public execution of a human being, you know. And it shows that was a symptom of how this society and a larger society, I think this is beyond an American thing, it's a worldwide thing. For some reason, the world has a way of treating people of African descent as second-class citizens. And I think at least part of my opinion is part of that have to do with the fact that we are so reliant on the outside, and they minimize and they take for granted what we bring to the table. You know, so this is sort of my effort to kind of change that dynamic a little bit by so doing, hopefully, how we are viewed politically and by the society will change. Obviously, it's not going to, you're not going to change your social standing by just your economic stuff, as we've found out with, you have Black billionaires, and they will all tell you countless stories where they were still treated as a N-word, you know, from the street and stuff like that. So just that is not, but it's part of a total package. We need to hit this thing, this view that the world society has of our people of African descent. We have to hit it at multiple levels. That include both politically, socially, and economically. You know, so yeah, I'll stop there.
No, I understand. You have to. I think, guys, to summarize, we have a lot to offer, and so we have to put ourselves out there. And this is your way of kind of fighting back. This is the way that you fight with what you have. You have the skills as a developer. You're an artist. You're a poet, and so you're doing everything that you can. And we just all have to do our part and put, you know, go into the platform, findblack.us. And put in the information in there for any business that you know, that you're aware of, you know, and just be honest about it, because it's a trust system, right? Yeah.
And what you said there, again, that's an important part. We can and we should all do everything, no matter how big or small, and I believe whatever you do is big. It's not small. Do everything in your power. If you believe that Black people, the world needs to treat us better, we have to compel them to treat us better. Like I think Malcolm X, or who have said before, no freedom, people don't give you freedom, you got to take it. And in that sense, we have to kind of force the hands by, you know, looking inward and looking outward. The two have to go together in order to change our lot, so to speak. You know?
No, I agree. As far as the plans for the future for findblack.us, right? I'm a little worried about, I'm not worried, but it's something we should address, right? So with anything, you put in information and you do a search, there is some kind of algorithm that happens where certain people, information comes first, you know, or second or third. Like, how would you manage that so that you just don't become a mini Google?
Yeah, thank you. It's a continuous work, right?
Okay.
No matter how you have stuff, people find ways to go around it. Just like Google algorithm, they are continuously changing it so people don't predict it and kind of position themselves where they are always on page one.
Exactly.
So it's a continuous work, and
so I cannot pay you extra so that my name comes up.
No.
Because it's not bribery, it's business in the U.S.
It's business.
Google does it. You can pay for your ad.
So to reframe that a little bit, there is a functionality where you can pay me. Again, eventually I need to be able to, I can put my time, I'm good with that, but there's money involved in this, right? Right? And so raising some money, I'm not totally opposed to that.
Okay.
But I feel strongly that there shouldn't be any barriers for it meeting the objective. That is, it'll always, no matter what, it'll always be free for people to list businesses on there. It'll always be free for you to find businesses there that you can support. But there are other ways that, you know, business owners can, you know, contact me on how we can use the tools to make sure that they are getting the most out of it.
That they want. Okay, I'll have to contact you because I want
Sounds
to know.
good. Let's talk.
And then, okay, so for the near future, let's just say 5 years from now, where do you see findblack.us?
It's bringing value to people. It's being used by a lot of people. It becomes sort of, if not synonymous to Google, but at least in our community, it becomes second nature, where people go in there to find businesses they can support. And they do, in fact, find businesses that can provide the services or products that they need, you know, readily doing that. That means that, you know, the listing has to grow, of course, because we have thousands and millions of businesses out there in the U.S. Right now, there's only a fraction in Find Black. I would like that, as it is right now, it's continuously growing. I would like it to continue to grow, because the last thing I want is for you to go there, you are interested in maybe somebody, you want to get some nice bottle of wine, you know, and you can't find it there, because then you go to Google or you go somewhere else. I want to stop that and being able for you to find that in there. So in the next, that's the bottom line. Then there's a lot of other things I'm exploring in order for it to really make it a platform. So you don't just go in there to go look for a product or services.
Something that keeps you there.
Yeah, exactly. That can keep
Like
you there, because create a community. Because again, it's not only for our this phase 2 of this. It's not only for business owners to go list their product, but providing a platform where business owners can learn and grow their business. You know, grow their services.
They'll have some tools maybe.
And tools, and be able to connect with other like-minded people, with other experts in there in our community to grow, so both can grow together.
That's awesome. Okay, so
because something else, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Some easy thing will be is, you know, having a job stuff. These businesses that are there looking for employees, you can easily post your job in there, and instead of you going to go find product or services, you can go find a job. Again, it's ultimately to grow our community, to make us prosperous, right? So that's just an idea.
If we ever, is there any reason why findblock.us will go down?
No.
Okay, I like that answer. Let's leave it at that. No is a good answer. No is a good answer. Okay, so guys, you heard it. It's findblack.us. And it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you have something to offer. Go in there, put in your information, somebody will find you. If you know somebody else who's doing a business, let them know about this. Or you can put in their information, and it takes how many days before maybe it's validated?
Within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours, that's pretty good. And so, do you have other people working with you? Do you need volunteers? Like, people are listening right now? And like we're about to wrap it up, but talk to the people.
I need help. This again is a community resources. We can all do our part in you know, uplifting our community and stuff. So I need help. We'll need volunteers. Right now it's me along with some friends and family that are helping build this and launch it and all of that. But it's certainly, especially if you're a developer, we love developers, business analysts, we love business analysts, or anybody there. Even if you don't contact me, the way you can help, list businesses there. If you are aware of some Black-owned businesses, search the site first so you don't send me a bunch of duplicates. But if it's not in there, by all means, add it. That would be very helpful, and thank you in advance.
And you have an Instagram page, Facebook page.
Yeah, with all of that. You can find it on the site. You can connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that, or send us an email. And
the email, you can send an email through the website?
Yeah,
or?
You can send through our contact stuff there, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it. I'm going to go to findblack.us and enter Afrocontigbo. And you should go enter your business or your friend's business as well.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's
go
been a
vote.
Pleasure.
Please vote.
Yes, go vote. If you've never done it, don't miss this. It's very important.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we're still on, but the Blackout Tuesday, it happened and it was amazing because a lot of people put all their energy into supporting black businesses. Yeah. So I'm hoping that there's another movement like that worldwide, and I'm really hoping that findblackus.us is going to help us.
Yeah. Because, exactly, that you can hit them up. So you don't. Absolutely. One thing that I really feel strongly about with our business is clearing all barriers. Make it second nature, just as easy as it is for you to buy apples from Cup Food. Let's say it's got to be that easy for you to buy apples from me, a black person. And so having a site like this means that I don't go to Google and have to put black in front of something, black winemakers.
Exactly.
Just go here where I can put just winemakers, and stuff, and know what I'm finding. Because Google can send you a bunch of lists and all of that. Then you'll have to go click to a list to go do all of that. You go here, you are connected to the it's take out those barriers. And I believe that even when it comes to the business owners themselves, whenever I have conversation with business, I tell them, you got to up your game. I don't have to sacrifice quality or price to support you. Right. If I'm paying the white business owner $2 and they will turn it around within 2 minutes, I expect you to do the same thing. I want to give you my $2, but I don't want to give you my $2.50 just because you're black and then wait 5 minutes. No.
You just want to do business.
I want to support your business, but I don't want it to cost me. Ideally, although right now, in some cases, yes, I'm making some sacrifice, but we got to get to a place where it doesn't involve any sacrifice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, right now we do have to make some sacrifices just because of the way the structure is.
It's not.
It's like Amazon is always going to win if you're looking for the cheapest value, but then who's making any money on that? Like if
nobody,
you're a small business, you're like, unless you're this huge person, So I understand though, because like everything is just, it's not designed for us.
No.
There's nothing that's designed for us because we didn't design it.
No, exactly. So we didn't. Even if they don't, like you said, the Google case, right? Google is not inherently racist,
right?
But they are making for the majority.
Exactly.
And the majority is white.
Exactly.
So this is something that's made for black people.
Exactly.
In this world, in the findblack.us world, black people are the majority.
The majority, yes.
It's designed for that.
So with that, we should wrap it up.
Are we still on? I don't know. Are we done, right?
Guys.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It's been great, and I'll shake your hands.
Always a pleasure, man. Yeah.
So
given the distance, very good.
I'm definitely going to volunteer.
All right.
To help with social marketing, and flyers, and things like that.
Thank you.
I'm going to be on it. Okay?
All right. I will appreciate it. We appreciate
it.
Yeah. Get the word around. Let's get the word around. Let's. Woo.
My name is IBé. I am a social worker. So please join us on November 3rd to vote for the candidate who is supported by the Service Employee International Union. To find out information about where to vote from home, please go to vote.seiumn.org.
C'est encore Yves Kenao, c'est toujours Yves Kenao qui revient. Cette fois-ci, pour vous dire que Tempo Afrique TV vous offre plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision. Les chaînes européennes, les chaînes américaines, les chaînes asiatiques, les chaînes africaines. À un prix imbattable. À un prix imbattable. Tenez-vous bien. $185 pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Alors, où est-ce que vous pouvez trouver mieux que ça? Si ce n'est pas sur Tempo Afrique TV. Mesdames, Messieurs, appelez seulement le 612 804 0295 et vous serez servi. Vous serez agréablement surpris de voir plus de 4000 chaînes de télévision rouler sur votre écran comme ça et vous choisissez laquelle vous voulez. Alors mesdames, n'hésitez pas. N'hésitez surtout pas et ne faites pas compter. Prenez votre téléphone, prenez-le tout de suite et appelez le 612, le 804, le 02 95. Nous sommes là, ici à Tempo TV, pour rendre votre vie simple et agréable. Alors, saisissez l'occasion. Donc, $185 pour toute une année, pour 12 mois, inclus le box. Quoi de mieux que ça?
My name is IBé. I am a social worker. So please join us on November 3rd to vote for the candidate who is supported by the Service Employee International Union. To find out information about where to vote from home, please go to vote.seiumn.org. Hi Minnesota, it's election season and it's a critical moment for our community to be a voter for this season.